Kevin Durant is winning the MVP this year. He's already getting the narrative. They already pushed it. They already got it going. I love KD. I think he's the best player in the world. But once people in the media gets a hold of something and start saying like, yo, Kyrie Irving's really hurting the Brooklyn Nets championships opportunity. Once I heard that, I'm like, damn, Kevin Durant really they already got this agenda going for Kevin Durant to kind of get the MVP now. He deserve it, of course, but it's just like we know the NBA is about storylines. So if you come in and without Kyrie Irving, let's say Kyrie Irving decides to, after game 25 to get the vaccination and comes back, or he doesn't come back at all this year. Who knows? It's just like people are going to be like, yo, Kevin Durant had to deal with the Kyrie Irving situation. He had to deal with playing without Kyrie, even though he had James Harden, but he still had more responsibilities on his shoulders and stuff like that. That's why I think MVP, Kevin Durant. Or in second place, if there's a guy that can challenge Kevin Durant, I think it's Luka Doncic if the Dallas Mavericks become a top 3 seed or top 4 seed. But I'm gonna say Kevin Durant for MVP.
So my MVP pick for this year is gonna be Giannis. Because just realistically, there's only 3 guys that I can really see winning it: LeBron, KD, or Giannis. Just when we talk about winning being a huge factor, like even if you think Luka can win it, they would have to finish in the top 3, and that's not something that I feel like is a guarantee or a shoo-in. I feel like it's a guarantee that Kevin Durant and Giannis are going to finish top 3. I feel like if the Lakers stay healthy, it's a guarantee that the Lakers will finish top 3, right? But you can make the case that the Mavs might finish 7th.
Yeah.
So I mean, my pick for this year to win it is Giannis. He'll be 3-time MVP by the age of 27. So that's what I'm going with.
Defensive Player of the Year, Anthony Davis. I think this is if he can stay healthy, I think this is the year he finally gets that award that he deserves. And hopefully, if Anthony Davis has the season that I'm predicting him to have, I think we're going to be talking about another player as that best player in the world, has a case. If he has the season I think he's going to have.
Honestly, I hate to double up, but I also don't care. I'm going to say Anthony Davis, too. Just because this year I think it's going to be a little bit different in terms of the pressure that's on him. You add Russ, right, who's another guy who can, give you 20, 22 points a game or whatever, which means that Anthony Davis now can spend more of his time focusing on the defensive end. Not to say that he wasn't beforehand, of course, but we all know that, when there's a huge gap between your top 2 players and then everybody else, you got to, put the ball in the basket. That takes some energy out of you. But now that having Russ, I think will allow him to play a little bit more loose and freely on the defensive end. So I got AD too at Defensive Player of the Year.
No problem.
And who? I see another award on here that is going to go to a name that I don't like saying, but I don't have a choice. But go ahead. What's the next one? 6 Man of the Year.
6 Man of the Year.
Trez. I beat you to it. I don't know if you're gonna say him, but I'm gonna say Trez.
No, I'm definitely not saying him. I'm not. Nah, Trez is not winning the 6 Man of the Year because this team not gonna be fighting for their lives trying to get a play-in situation. So I don't see that happening. Tyler Hero. I think Tyler Hero has a great opportunity to win the 6 Man of the Year this year. I think it's time. I think if you look at the Miami Heat roster, Tyler Hero is probably the best at just maybe creating off the dribble. I know Jimmy Butler is pretty solid, but probably creating off the dribble and just going to get a bucket. Tyler Hero, he has the confidence, he has the swagger. He has to put it together. I think it was hard to living off that hype and those expectations that I was telling the entire world stop it. You don't want to do that to this player. You don't want to do this to this young player when you got people mentioning them and saying being better than Devin, higher than Devin Booker's on the same level as Devin Booker stuff. You don't want to do that. Now he has a year with all that bullshit and nobody's really talking about all those things. Would you rather start your franchise with John Morant or Zion? You start Tyler Hero over him? All that nonsense. I think that this is a year where he's gonna really have a great impact for the Miami Heat and be that shot creator that they need this upcoming season. He's my 6 Man of the Year pick.
Yeah. That's an interesting pick, interesting take, I would say. But I go with Trez just because of, again, opportunities. I think that team is very balanced, which I think is probably a good thing for him. Obviously, things didn't really work out with the Lakers, but I'm excited to see what he'll bring to the table for the Washington Wizards. It's a new team, new city, or new district, I guess. playing for a team that might be borderline playoffs. That ultimately means, games are going to matter, and he's going to have to play too. And I don't really see him.
Are games going to really
fighting.
matter?
Well, yeah, if you're fighting for a play-in, games are going to matter.
Them games ain't really matter if you fight for a play-in.
I guess depending on who you ask. All
right.
But Roy,
Rookie of the Year. Who you got?
I see. So my pick for Rookie of the Year is going to be Cade. And I know we go back and forth on him or Jalen, but to me it comes down to opportunities. And the only reason why I'm saying Cade over Jalen is for whatever reason is because of Kevin Porter Jr. And it's not like and that's not a bad thing. You feel me? I just think that with that backcourt and with his speaking of KPJ's ability to score, that just naturally takes away from the other player. And that doesn't mean that they can't work together. That's not me saying that they're not going to win games. But in terms of stats, like only one of y'all can put the ball in the hoop. Like that. That's I mean, they're both going to be playing well together. But in terms of opportunities, if I got one guy who get more of them, and y'all both talented, I'm gonna go with Cade.
And Kevin Porter Jr. is going to have the ball in his hands more than Jalen Green.
Jalen Green's
playing the two guard spot. He's going to be playing off ball as well. He can handle Jalen Green can have the ball in his hands, but like he's an off guard, shooting guard. That's what he's going to be playing. So for that reason alone, I'm going with Cade Cunningham as well because I feel like I said, we talked about it earlier, Detroit Pistons, 15-5-5, 17-5-5. People are going to look at those stats and be like, damn, Jalen Green may be averaging 20 points per game, but what else is he doing on the basketball court? I'm telling you, how they're going to see things. People love well-rounded players. That's just what it is, and that's why Cade Cunningham is probably going to win the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Rookie of the Year.
Offensive Player of the Year. Now, this is not an NBA award. This is no pump fakes award.
So, all right. So, explain what you mean to the lovely people and myself.
Offensive Player of the Year. Offensive Player of the Year is basically the best offensive
Don't say Player of the Year. No, I'm saying like Offensive Player of the Year is basically the best offensive player of the year.
No, I was gonna say the guy that on a nightly basis has to put up numbers to help their team succeed and to reach the play-in or situations like that.
Bro, this might be a unanimous decision. Come on now. I don't know why you put this on here. Stephen Curry. What the hell? Maybe you could have said Bradley Beal or Luka, but come on.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe like when people, have seen the most recent play of Jordan Poole, you might think, all right, maybe, he's got some help. But, bro, we just talked about Stephen Curry having 40 points in a preseason game. You don't think that I'm finna say Stephen Curry about to win Offensive Player of the Year?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Come on.
I'm going to roll with Jason Tatum.
No.
I'm going to roll with Jason Tatum because I feel like Jason Tatum's going to have to be fighting for his life too as well. And Jaylen Brown's going to be along the ride as well. So I feel like Jason Tatum's going to be putting up a lot of 40-point games, a couple 50-point games here and there. So I just feel like and also probably in the Eastern Conference, like it's a bloodbath now as well. I just feel like he's going to have to put up a lot of crazy nights in numbers and stats. So I'm going to roll with Jason Tatum. But of course, like you said, Stephen Curry definitely got to have the edge.
Yeah, and there's not
offensive player of the year.
Yeah. All right, so was it defensive Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, you said this was a no-brainer.
Yeah, Scotty Barnes. Next. Like, you said it was a no-brainer. Yeah.
If Davion Mitchell gets playing time, Davion Mitchell, yes, defensive Rookie of the Year. Davion Mitchell, lockdown stud, already right now, maybe a top 10 guard when we talk about defensively. Just guarding. Like, that brother's a stud. He's a defensive stout.
That's my turnover. That's my turnover.
Yeah.
That's my turnover.
It ain't gonna be as easy as
my turnover. You're right. I'm gonna still go with Scott. Oh, that's my turnover.
Yeah.
That's my turnover.
He's special. He Drew Holiday offensively.
Yeah.
Drew Holiday, but like defensively, like his defense ability, snout defender, quick off his feet. Even guys try to create off the dribble, he still can get to his spots and beat them to get to their spots. Davion Mitchell is special defensively, so ain't Scotty Barnes special defensively as well. That's one of them.
That's on me. The only reason why I said it was question was because I unfortunately had forgot about Davion. It wasn't because I didn't think he was like that. Davion's like that.
I don't blame you playing in Sacramento. It's a lot of people that's gonna forget about it.
Well, you know what though? That might be the problem though. You know, is the fact that he out there in where people ain't watching. But definitely love his game. Especially when we talk about defensive rookie of the year. That's on me. So public apology on my end. But those two guys though. I'm still going Scotty Barnes because I ain't taking my answer back. But shout out to him.
Defensive anchor of the year. This is not because I look at defensive player of the year. Me personally, I look at guys that are supposed to actually guard. So defensive anchor of the year is probably the guys that are winning defensive player of the year, like a Rudy Gobert, like a Giannis Antetokounmpo, guys that are really great being that lead defensive anchor and, calling out all types of defensive stuff. You know how they do in the background. Like Draymond Green. Like Draymond Green and stuff like,
So who you got? Who you going with?
I put Draymond Green, of course. I think Draymond Green's the best defensive anchor in the game. Like help side, always running around the basketball court, guarding players at times and stuff like that. Being loud on the defensive side. People don't understand like the importance of being loud defensively and yelling and screaming like, yo, my man's over here. Like, no, back door, screen coming, all that stuff. That's what I look at. And I say Draymond Green, defensive anchor of the year.
It's funny. So when we talk about defensive anchor of the year, right, the most common names you might hear is, as you mentioned, Draymond Green, and I see Rudy Gobert. You know who I'm going to go with, though?
And Giannis as well.
Okay, Giannis, too. Yeah. And even, like, if you know who I'm going to go with, though, who my pick is going to be? Patrick Beverley. And the reason why I say this, right, new team, new situation, you know what Pat Bev is like defensively, but previously he was playing with guys like Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, who we already knew were established defensively. But now, right, especially if we think the Timberwolves going to make the playoffs, I mean, I'm not saying he's going to have to bring that dog in them. He's going to have to bring that dog in them in terms of the intensity and his overall raising the defensive level for the Timberwolves. So I got Pat Bev as, defensive anchor of the year.
That's not a bad pick. He be running around like Russ say, doing nothing sometimes. But I ain't mad at the pick. Well, I'm
just saying again, based off your question and the word we're using, anchor. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yep. I'm not mad at it.